Hello, Anas. Hello, everyone. For today's interview, I'm delighted to be here with Anas Alubaidi. Hi, Anas. Anas is a general practitioner licensed in Iraq and registered at the Iraqi Medical Association. He graduated with a Bachelor of Medicine and General Surgery from Baghdad University, and he has obtained other higher medical degrees from British universities. He also holds a board certification in pain management from the American Academy of Procedural Medicine, and he's a fellow of the Royal Society for Public Health. So pretty impressive. His experience and medical knowledge are very diverse and vast, as he has worked in different medical fields, including patient care setting, healthcare management, and medical research. He is passionate about preventive healthcare, primary healthcare, public health practice, healthcare quality improvements, and medical data management. Anas is currently based in the US, working as a CRC, and he's an active member of the One Study Team community. We are very happy to have you as our guest today. Thank you, Anas.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. I'm very honored and very glad to be here, certainly.
Let's get started. Anas, what brought you to clinical research, or how did you get started in this field?
Well, in the clinical research, what brought my attention to it, several reasons, but two most important reasons are one, while I was studying in medical school in Iraq, back in Iraq, when I was a student at Baghdad University College of Medicine. Definitely, through our curriculum that we used to study, always we study about the FDA approval and the clinical trials and medications that have been FDA approved in order to safe and effective to be used within certain diseases and syndromes. After that, after graduation, when I practiced medicine in Iraq, also when we used to prescribe medications, we always make sure that's FDA approved and it's good to be used and prescribed for patients' safety, due to the interest and assurance of the safety of the patients. So uh, always through our practice, we used to make sure FDA approved medications. Always when we talk about medications or we discuss me and my peers or the providers between us about certain medications, certain new medications that have been approved, and all that, we always talk about FDA approval. So we studied about the FDA and the approval system and the clinical research and all that. And also we practiced upon that using this as a guideline. So always whoever living and practicing and working within the healthcare system in developing country like Iraq, always there is the curious, what's exactly happening in clinical research trials, how exactly the professional life there. So it's always a mysterious field for us. That's why whoever decide coming from developing country, moving to developed country like USA or another developed country, uh, to work, having the opportunity to work in clinical trials is usually and always a unique opportunity. So this is one reason, mysterious field for us that we read about, we study about, we talk about, but we never lived in it. We never worked with it. And the other reason, of course, is me being interested in public health, because me as a provider, physician, or healthcare provider, I always interested and obsessed about public health and the perspectives of public health, of prevention, and the medical policies, the medical guidelines, and all that. But more specifically, prevention. The preventive healthcare is always an obsession for me. While practicing as a clinician or as a provider in Middle East. So that's why I got my master in science, Master of Science in Public Health, because of my interest in public health. Clinical research and public health are very much linked. Actually, clinical research is part in public health, because public health is general, is broad. So clinical research is part of it, and very aspects and guidelines in clinical research is part from public health or are coming from public health. So those two reasons make me more interested in clinical research and in clinical trials.
Thank you. And so once you got to the US, you started in the field, you started working in clinical research. Were you invited by a colleague? How did you first find opportunities to?
So when I came to USA, I already have my curiosity about clinical research. I already mean like any other provider or working in health field in a developing country, having the curiosity what is happening, since it's a mysterious for us, and how the professional life is. So in addition to that, when I start meeting foreign providers or foreign clinicians or foreign physicians from developing country like Iraq, for instance, or any other country, a lot of them, decent amount of them, they did not start practicing medicine in USA, but chose the clinical research field instead, and fulfilling different positions in clinical research, whether CRC as a clinical research coordinator or any other position in clinical trials, just because they have the enough qualifications and the education to be involved in such field. And this, knowing that like such an amount of physicians or foreign physicians did that and being involved in clinical research, increased my curiosity, increased my interest in this field to be involved in. So this is when I started increase my qualifications and my credentials in order to be more eligible to fulfill at least as a beginning as a CRC or clinical research coordinator, for instance, a couple of US national certifications as an EKG technician or ECG technician, phlebotomy technician, in addition to my education and qualifications, especially in medical field. So after that, I started to apply, and I applied first as a clinical research data coordinator, which I got accepted for. And I worked as a data coordinator a little bit more than a year. And after that, my resume has been found by the current PI, who called me, and she offered me a position as a clinical research coordinator, CRC, in her site, which I'm working in right now.
Very impressive. You have studied a lot and then continued getting more certifications, both to improve your knowledge and to be better suited to do what you do. That is great. Thanks for sharing that. And I know that you are very interested in preventive care and you publish a lot. How do you manage publishing and your work as a CRC?
Well, prevention is very important for me, and from different perspectives. Now, as a working in research, and before as a provider, and being specialized with public health, prevention is very important. It's very essential. For me, preventive care is essential in primary care, and maybe prior to primary care as well, because there are settings, maybe some in USA and worldwide as well, something called primary preventive care setting also as well, which is more involved with the prevention rather than with the primary care. So I like to educate people. I like to promote for health. I like to enhance the quality of the healthcare system everywhere, because there is no such thing as 100% perfect quality for healthcare, because the healthcare would not be perfect whether in developed or in developing country. Yes, maybe in developed countries much better quality in compare, but doesn't mean it's perfect. Plus, part of the prevention is not only enhancing the quality of the preventive setting is also enhancing the knowledge of the patients themselves and the communities as well, in order to understand the preventive perspective, whether through vaccinations, how important are vaccinations or in order to prevent vaccine preventable diseases, whether certain medications that if you have a certain disease or condition, you need medications in order not to have further medical consequences. And this is what I like in research. First, I worked as a data coordinator in a site where we used to do vaccine trials, and I like that very much, because vaccination is important in order to apply the preventive care perspective. Now, right now, in this site where I'm working right now, we do a lot of cholesterol trials and medications for cholesterol, not only to control cholesterol, but to avoid or prevent any future or furthermore atherosclerotic cardiovascular consequences, whether vascular consequences or cardiac heart consequences as well. So for me, it's prevention, treating the cholesterol, controlling the cholesterol, and to prevent further medical consequences is a prevention as well. So working through that, and now I feel I need to do more by publishing all those perspectives, all those ideas, prevention ideas or preventive ideas that can be done through medications and or through vaccinations. I publish about that. I like to publish also about the global health security and health security in general, because also it is a most important perspective in public health and can be done through prevention as part of it, as a main part of it. So finding time for all of that, publishing, working, studying, it always comes from passion. So if a person has the passion for all of that and doing it with passion, each one of them, it's very important in order to push and motivate to find time. Even here, sometimes through my breaks while I'm working, I'm reviewing some articles or manuscript I'm working on in order to publish later on. So I try to find the time through breaks, whether while working or after done with my work through the rest of the day, to review whatever manuscripts I'm working on in order to publish later on. Sometimes I have a note that whenever I find a topic I might think of writing on, I immediately put the topic in the note so that when the time comes, I look for that topic in order to write for. So passion first. And second thing is that for me, all priority, working, publishing, studying, all is a first priority. But having passion to do all will help or motivate and push in order to find time for each one of them. Plus, when you have a good teamwork environment in your work, like right now when I'm working, I have a good teamwork environment. I have understandable PI who knows my background, and each one of person here knows my background and knows my passionate interest. They also motivate and encourage and ask you to find time, and maybe helping you to find time to do other things like publishing or studying. So it's all together, passionate with understanding work environment, all together comes in order to help out and motivate to find time to do each one of those interests and passion. And after all, knowing that you are working for the greater outcome, for improve healthcare quality in order to help patients more through enhancing the healthcare systems more, knowing that outcome, knowing that you are doing that role is the biggest motivation as well.
That is great insight. I think that maybe some people might be a little afraid of letting their team members know they do something else, that everyone will think, well, writing requires a lot of time, a lot of effort. You might not want to let people think, oh, or want to not give people a reason to think that you're not going to give 100% of your job because you're doing something else, or you might be focused on something else. But in this way, like you're saying, you're getting support from your team members, because it is something that is connected to everyone's interest. In the end, everyone is interested in putting the word out there and letting people know about prevention, about clinical research, about the consequences of and the successes of all the work that you do also. So that's great insight. Thanks, Anas. So
Thank you.
what would you consider to be the most rewarding part of your job?
Well, the most rewarding, I would say, on top of my mind is that knowing. So when we do trials, when we do clinical trials, uh, either you do trials for new medications that you need approval for certain indication to treat, or sometimes doing trials to discover or test further more indications for already approved medications. Either or, we are testing the safety, the efficacy, and the effectiveness of that medication. So knowing that medication in the future, once completing the trial for a certain trial, and having the most accurate data and the perfect data, and having the outcome that we were hoping for and waiting for, and knowing that after that we got that this trial that ended up with a certain further indication for a medication or approval for a medication, having approval, FDA approval for whether further indication or approving new medication, whatever the trial that led to this result, this approval outcome, knowing that me personally or the site that I used to work in or I'm working in was part of that trial is very rewarding, is a point of moment of proudness, maybe of being proud, because this means that we did extra step toward improvement of the healthcare quality, extra step on providing more choices for providers within the healthcare systems in order to treat the patients better.
Exactly. Thank you, Anna. This is all really a great story. Thank you for sharing your motivations, your experience. I'm pretty sure that it will resonate with many clinical researchers. Thank you for sharing with the One Study Team community. I think we can wrap up now. Would you like to share anything else to wrap up?
The only thing I would like to share is that to understand that clinical research, and this is my conclusion also that I think about and I work on it and depending on it, is that clinical research is not very much separated from healthcare. It's not a separated world. Actually, they both share the same world of having the best medical interventions in order to help to improve health and to promote medicine, or to improve medicine and promote health. So clinical research is very important, a basic, essential part of healthcare system. Due to clinical research, due to trials, then there will be more options in treatment will be provided for the providers in order to apply that on treating patients. So without clinical trials, there wouldn't be more options. There wouldn't be more varieties in treating patients. So clinical research for me is part of healthcare system, is part of the healthcare aspect, whether preventive and or primary as well, and specialized healthcare system as well. So clinical research is crucial, is essential, is important in order to serve the healthcare system even more.
Thanks a lot, Anas. Thank you. Well, to all our viewers, you can use the chat to leave your comments, leave any questions for Anas or anything, a shout out, anything you would like to share and be part of the conversation. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Anas. Have a good day. Good day,
Thank you.
everyone.
You too.
Bye.
You too. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.